Welcome to the Hockey in the 313 podcast, where we talk all things Red Wings in the world of NHL. Here are your hosts, Brian Donnelly, Keegan Grazioli, Zach Ola, and Dayton Vandermeer.
Guys, we're officially missing one of our members. The Thrash and the 313 podcast cannot be started without Thrash. Thrash has gone missing. A reward for him has been put up for $1 million. Poor Thrash, man. He can't run it. He can't run the podcast for us today. Very, very sad. May he rest in peace. May he rest in peace. Hopefully we'll see him again soon.
We did get Dayton back.
We did get Dayton back. Addition by subtraction.
Mm-hmm.
We all are keeping tabs on the Tigers game right now. Dayton just said pre-recording that Jorge Polanco just hit a dinger. So Tigers are down 1-0. So expect us to just randomly stop what we're doing and look at our TV screens and then get back on track if something else happens. But definitely being down 1-0 definitely isn't ideal right now. So we'll just keep rolling, and whatever happens with the game. So yeah, for episode 19 today, guys, we're going to be talking about Red Wings finish the preseason 5-3. We'll talk about the 4 games that we didn't cover in last week's episode. 2-1 loss versus Pittsburgh with Dominic Shine being the only goal scorer in that game. Then a 3-1 W against Chicago with JT Compher, MBN, and Raymond on the score sheet. And then the final 2 games of the preseason coming against Toronto. First one, a 3-1 win versus Toronto with Finnie, Cat, and Larkin scoring. And then the last game with the Red Wings coming back from a 5-3 victory over Toronto to score an OT. Goal scorers from that were Kane, Larkin twice, MBN, and Aljo. Then we're going to talk about some roster moves, some that actually happened as of today, which is October 5th, which is the time of recording. Does this mean that ASP officially has made the roster? And then on technicality, Justin Holl and Erik Gustaffson have gotten set and down, but hasn't been technically sent down to GR yet. It just allows them to be sent down if they clear, which I think they will. And then Red Wings trimmed down the roster to 23. Who else do the Red Wings need to move off of, or does this mean 23 players is enough? And then we're going to finish things off by talking about the Tigers, ironically enough. They beat the Guardians. They're up 1-0 in the series against the Mariners. Currently playing right now, but as of tomorrow when you guys see this episode, it'll probably either be 2-0 Tigers or the series will be tied 1-1 with the Tigers and Mariners heading back to Detroit. So with that being said, guys, let's kick off episode 19 talking about the game against Pittsburgh. Really just nothing that I think that it was just one of those games where, like, I think the Wing Wheel podcast said it very, very well. Like, just you had that rush of, preseason hockey's back. We're all excited about it. But, I mean, just this game kind of felt like blah. I mean, whatever. And I think the Red Wings kind of felt that same, like, kind of vibe, like that kind of dopamine rush of, hockey being back is kind of gone, and now we're just waiting for regular season to start. So overall, guys, what were your thoughts on the 2-1 loss against Pittsburgh? As I said, like, Dominic Shine was the only goal scorer. Gibson did play in this game as well. So, yeah, like, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
I don't really remember what happened in that game, honestly.
Honestly, I was honestly not really looking more at the offense. Like, we had a lot of solid guys in the lineup, but I feel like, for the most part, I feel like the main attraction as of right now has been kind of seeing how Gibson's been doing. How has he been pouring? He performed really well for the most part in that game. He looked really good, really solid. I liked what was going for him. I think the game just didn't go our way that game, and that's okay. It's preseason. You get your little hurdles out of the way. Definitely, I'm really excited to see how Talbot does, or not Talbot. Gibson does, because he's looked phenomenal in my eyes this whole preseason, just showing glimpses of how it can go this season. I'm truly, really excited to see just all of it.
If I'm being honest, I just remember Ben Kindle on Pittsburgh doing quite well, and it looks like he might be a dark horse to make the Pens line up. And I mean, just going on my prospect side, I've been a huge fan of him. So,
and he's wearing.
Yeah, I guess nothing much for us really.
And he's wearing.
Remember.
And he's wearing Phil Kessel's number. So.
Oh, what a beauty!
Yes.
Already.
You're muted, Brian.
Still muted.
Oh my God.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll cut that out real quick. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those games, like we said. Like, there's just not much to take from it. Not a lot happened in the sense that, just nothing really to call back on. It was a very scrappy game. It was a very nit and gritty game. So, I mean, just a 2-1 loss against Pittsburgh, I don't think any of us are really paying too much of attention to. This next game, however, I think is kind of grasping our attention a little more. The 3-1 win against Chicago. Goal scorers coming from JT Compher, Michael Brantzig-Nygaard, Lucas Raymond, and then Talbot was in net. This was his first of back-to-back nights. Overall, again, what were your guys' thoughts as the Red Wings returned back home against Chicago? Anything you guys saw that kind of stuck out to you guys?
Well, I think for starters, two guys really stood out that whole game. Emmett Finnie and Michael Brunswick. Holy shit. It's exciting watching them. I mean, obviously, like, the power play looked really well. Overall, they dominated Chicago. Chicago had a little bit more of a heavier NHL lineup. But, I mean, for the rookies, man, it looked really good, especially MBN, who had a power play goal. Just his quick release on that power play, or I think it was the feed from DeBrincat or one of the two. Oh my God, it was so good. Oh no, I think it was from Larkin, but it was just such a quick release. It was almost Raymond-esque, because just how quick Raymond's shot is. It was almost that exact type of like quick release, and he looked amazing. Finnie looked amazing too on that top line with Larkin and Raymond. Obviously I feel like everybody's very agreeing on this topic, as in, hey, like, these kids are really pushing it and making it a really hard time for them to get cut. So,
Well, this was actually the game, at least analytically, where Finnie was the fourth worst player, and MBN and ASP were the third and fourth best players.
oh, I didn't even know that ASP. I forgot he played.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you can see that really, but see Finnie's at the bottom down there, and then ASP and them all are up here. But I think that was a game. One of the games Talbot looked really good.
Mm-hmm. Talbot's looked really solid. I feel like he'll be it'll be a great like 1-2 punch with him and Gibson, just because you're not relying on Talbot to do all the heavy work, but you're also relying on Gibson to be that guy. And that gives Talbot, when he does need to play, a lot of time to be rested and just ready to go. He's a really great goalie. Really great. And I'm glad it's going to be like a kind of a 1-2 punch. And we're not rotating a third goalie either, so that's even more great.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not rotating in Ville Husso.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Once again, just going off of what you guys said, I've been a huge fan of MBN these last couple of preseason games with him. I feel like I'm getting vibes from kind of his draft year where he fully flourished in the goal scoring department, and once again that shot, that release, it's gotta be. Right when we drafted him, I thought it was a top 5. He was a top 5 shooter in the 2024 draft class, and I think he's finally been showing it throughout these past couple of games, especially on the power play. And I like the way how we were using him on the power play as well. I think he's kind of that half-wall shooter, down low type of player, which I think that's how a good spot to put him. And I don't think other teams have been putting him there really. Like, I think he's usually kind of high when it comes to the power play throughout his time in Sweden. But yeah, I really like the physicality, and I think he's kind of showing what he can do to make this team.
I also want to touch on how ASP's look too, because I feel like ever since preseason game 1, he's looked. It was definitely a little bit rough. I think he was just really adjusted to the North American ice, but he has improved every single game he's been in, especially this game. Like, he was one of the top guys analytically, and I think that showed on the power play. He was, setting up guys. He was creating the good passing lanes and making crisp passes, and then just also too, just taking the shots too. I don't think I've seen a guy take as many shots as Sandin Pellikka at the point, and I love to see it from a defenseman, especially from his size and just his ability to shoot it, and just be able to create plays from nothing, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was gonna say for Zach talking about where MBN.
Oh, is he like in the middle? most of the time too?
No, I just mean I think he's been sitting in the spot where Raymond sits. Because I think MBN's on the second power play for the most
Mm-hmm.
part, and I think he's been in that area where Raymond usually sits.
Sorry, what was that again? Uh, is it
Uh,
what I just said? Kinda.
yeah, I'm just
Hmm.
saying like I was just saying that he's doing what Raymond does.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of thinking about just watching his highlights. I remember against Toronto, we scored a beauty goal as well.
Yeah, he did.
Kind of jumping over, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a very valid point from Keegan there. ASP has definitely looked a lot better since the preseason has went on, especially in the sense that when we recorded last week's episode, I kind of looked at ASP saying like he's not he hasn't been doing bad. It's just he's not doing a lot of like the little things right. And I think Todd really put it into perspective that he's hovering his foot on the brake. Like he's falling back on the situations and he's not taking those like risks you want to see these youngsters taking in their early career. Like they're being too safe almost. And I think he's kind of grown out of that shell a little more, and it definitely showed. We'll get more into this a little later, but it showed with them putting him on the PK. Like an offensive defenseman, you really don't put someone like that on the PK. And the fact that they're just exploring options and everywhere he's trying to be, it's a good showing, and it's building up his confidence to put him in every situation that he can be adaptive to and get him out of that comfort zone. So I think huge props to ASP. I mean, again, we'll talk about him a little bit later, but he's definitely proven me, and I think a little more of the fan base, not so much wrong, but just showing that he can take his game to the next level and prove others like, hey, I'm here to stay. I can do anything you need me to do. Obviously, it's going to come with a little bit of growing pains. We'll kind of address on this later when we talk about the defensive moves that came today and how this affects him. But, I mean, overall, I think Brantic Nygaard and ASP, this was overall their best game. So, very, very nice to see. All right. Moving into the last two games of the preseason, these were arguably the most important games of the preseason because this shown the NHL lineup and NHL players for the Red Wings. Not so much the Maple Leafs in the second game, but definitely in the first game. Like it was a very heavy NHL lineup. And honestly, I thought it went pretty well. It's a 3-1 W against Toronto. As mentioned before, Emmett Finnie just continues to show why he deserves to be on this team. He may have not put up the points. I put it on my graphic earlier this morning that he only had 4 points in 7 games, but he does everything right. Like defensive work, he gets into plays, he gets the puck when he wants to. Like he's just doing a lot of things right that aren't on the score sheet, including getting on the score sheet. So he continues to impress. DeBrincat gets on the board, so does Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin has looked tremendous throughout this preseason, man. I know we love talking about the rookies, but let's show some of our vets some love, man. I mean, Larkin has looked tremendous this preseason. And then like Keegan said, like Talbot, man, he's looked really good too. I mean, him and Gibson, if Gibson finds his wheels after the game that we'll talk about later on, which I have no worries about Gibson right now. I will make that clear right now. But if both of these goalies get rolling and we have a chance to have two goalies that can steal a couple games away from us, I think that's really all you need in the season so far. So overall, let's talk about the first Toronto game. If anyone wants to go first with that.
I'll kind of go first, and I feel like I think this is something Dayton had said previously is they were dominant in almost every category, whether it was shots, whether it was, pucks on net, offensive chances.
It's Todd McClellan hockey.
Yeah, but, I mean, obviously, like, Stolars was keeping them in that game for the longest time, and they just finally broke. I know MBN had a really good feed to DeBrincat to kind of like an almost open net for the most part to kind of give us the lead towards, believe the second or third period. But overall shots department, just, that's what I love to see. The last couple of years, we've had dump and chase hockey, power play, just constantly passing. We weren't doing anything. Now, any chance you get, you're putting shots on net. You're pummeling the goalie with shots, and that leads to opportunities, whether it's rebounds or snapshots, slap shots, wrist shots. It leads to better opportunities, and I don't think McClellan gets enough credit so far of how he's done so far. Like obviously we know what this team can be because we saw it down the stretch with 2 8-game winning streaks, and I think a full off season of getting the players in that mentality of, hey, we have to be better. We have to do this. I love it. I think, not to mention the penalty kill too. It's looked
Yeah.
massively improved too, like from last season. And I know obviously Trent Yanni, he's been McClellan's go-to assistant coach for a long time, so I trust that he 100% would fix this penalty kill. And so far, it's looked up a lot better than what it was last year. Which, even if you get a subpar penalty kill, even if it's like middle of the league, that helps you tremendously because then you're not struggling like we were last year. Because anytime basically the team got a power play, we would have gotten scored on.
Well, I wish I like flipped it or anything yesterday, but during that game, I remember I think Zach was in the party and I was talking about or they were talking to Cop, and he said I think he said it's like playoff or bust this year, and like that's like I forget. I wish I remembered exactly what he said, but he was like, I haven't seen that. I mean, obviously, they have that kind of attitude every year, but I feel like this time it was more like they know they need to do it this year. Like, and there's no like middle or anything. Like they have to make it this year. I think it was basically something like that. I don't know if
You also said he has like 700 games and 300 points.
Yeah, that's really
for balance.
really weird, but yeah.
I also think that's setting the expectation. Like, I mean, obviously. Oh, that's another thing I want to touch on is the assistant captains too. You look at Raymond and Sider have had the A's pretty much all preseason. I think that's telling of maybe the leadership group has changed, and maybe that gives us a different thing. Because if you remember with Lalonde, it was always switching. It would always be like kind of like, I forgot what podcast said it, but pretty much they were just talking about how like maybe in McClellan it was just like buddy, everybody kind of switches off there's a certain word like a participation like assistant captain or leadership role, and maybe it was a revolving door, and that obviously maybe McClellan didn't want to mess with that towards the middle of the season, but I feel like I think he talked really high on Larkin and Sider when he came in, and or not Larkin and Sider, Raymond and Sider, and I think he's gonna keep them as A's, and maybe that might change maybe in Chicago for Kane, just because like dude's a legend there. But I think that leadership group has kind of shifted into making it more younger, focusing on the guys we have now to try and create, because they're going to be the future of this team. Larkin's not going to be here for forever. Raymond and Sider are going to be here longer term, so that leadership room has shifted to be younger and hungry. Which
Well, I remember I think Todd said that he he wanted to wait like the rest of the year just to kind of see who the leaders were and everything before he made his decision. And then I've brought it up a couple of times to where like Shara and Kopp have kind of been two of the main assistant captains the last couple of years. And in the preseason this year, they like you said, Sider and Raymond have had it even when Kopp and Shara are playing with them. So I do think that they're moving to them.
agreed.
I kind of have a quick question for you guys. I was wondering how Axel looked defensively because I remember just watching him in the AHL. He kind of made questionable reads, and he was still getting kind of used to the North American game. But I just remember in Sweden, he was kind of a little bit more aggressive, stick first, obviously, and he can get physical at sometimes. But I guess that's something I'm a little bit concerned if he does end up making the lineup, which is obviously looking towards that way.
Well, I think defensively he's gotten a bit better. I mean, obviously he's never going to be great at it, but I think he's gotten better at it overall. I honestly would have to look at all the stat cards because I like to look at those and see like what it says his defense is. And then his size is he's never going to be a big guy or anything. So.
Well,
that's
sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Sorry, Keegan.
No, you're good.
That's the thing with Axel Sandin Pelka, man. I mean, you don't need him to be this defensive defenseman. I mean, we already have tons of them that can either play the two-way or the defensive game. Like, you pair... I mean, this is, like, legitimately the dream position for us. I mean, obviously, you don't want to have him on the second pair. Like, you'd like to have him on the third pair, but Aljo. I mean, you put Edvinsson and Sider together. You got a two-way guy with another two-way guy, but he's more so driven offensively. You put a very defensively gifted guy with a highly motored offensive guy. Ooh, that was a good catch. You put him with a highly motored offensive guy, it's a good recipe right there. And then that allows you to have a guy like Sherratt and JBD on that bottom pair. I feel like overall we're kind of seeing that mesh in what these players can be and where they fit in the lineup. And you love to see that. You really do. And that's the thing that I want to touch up on what Zach said about MBN. Like, that shot, man, that's his signature thing. Like, you could not write up a better player to be on that top line. I know we love Emmett Finnie right now, but just the way that MBN plays, it would complement Larkin and Raymond's game so much. I mean,
we do need finishers, I think.
Yeah, and MBN can be that guy. You don't have to put, DeBrincat. I mean, you can once in a while, but like that's your guy that you're going to be looking to is MBN with that shot and how he sets it up. He does a little bit of everything that you need to do. He'll get into the chippy areas. He'll set himself up for a goal from his playmakers. It's just a good recipe for him. So getting back to that, though, I think with just ASP, man, I think you kind of need that guy to play off. Like, you need that offensive role in there. You have enough defensive guys that you can run, but you have to put an offensive guy out there and not so much shelter his minutes, but make sure that defensive defenseman kind of covers his ass a little bit if something happens in the defensive zone.
And, I mean, I want to say, like, defensively, like you said, you don't need him to be this like two-way diva, but I think for the most part, honestly, like that. I mean, we'll get into it more into the next game, but I mean, I thought especially on the power play, Ajo and Pellica looked really good, like just guys that would be willing to shoot the puck, and that's what you need from defensemen because a lot of them don't take that offensive step sometimes. Like, I think Sider's more of a guy that can somewhat drive the offense. I feel like Edvinson's the guy that can create plays, but Pellica's the guy that can give you everything offensively. Like, whether it's in the offensive zone or neutral zone, he's gonna create plays. He's gonna drive up the ice. He's gonna get shots on net. Like, that's what you need, and there's not a lot of guys like that.
Yeah, I think just quickly going what you said, I think, or from what I've seen, Axel kind of looks like a solid distributor so far. I mean, I'm only referring to that Ajo goal when he tied it in the last preseason game. He just found him wide open. It was a quick pass like that. But yeah, I'd like to see kind of Axel a little bit expand more on his offensive instincts, which I think we could see this upcoming season.
And I love his shot too. Like the way he can rip a one-timer. Like, maybe might not be the most powerful shot.
Yeah,
but he can just rip it and get it on net, and that's what you want, right?
Yeah, I really like how he just steps up from the blue line, kind of gets a little bit into the slot, kind of top circle.
We're
yeah.
talking ASP, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
he rides the blue line really well, I've noticed. And there was two things I had, like, kind of to add on to some other things you guys said. But if Finnie and all them make the roster, I think he'll be fine on the first line. I think because Raymond and Larkin have both been 30-goal scorers. Larkin multiple times and Raymond once. So I mean, I don't think you necessarily need a guy that can score goals on there because, like I said, Raymond and Larkin can both do that. And then for the defensive pairs, you guys are talking about that. And if the last game is what the roster is going to be, which is usually how that works, it'll be. I think they had Sherratt, Sider, Edvinson, JBD, ASP, and Johansson. So, I mean, it sounds like that would work out pretty well.
And not to mention too, we'll get into it in another topic.
Okay. All right. So let's wrap things up about the preseason real quick. As I said, the Red Wings finished at 5-3. With the last game being honestly the most exciting one. I couldn't watch it because I was at work, but I was keeping tabs on it.
I watched it.
Man, what a game! I mean, it's the AHL team, which kind of sucks, but it was really sweet to just watch the full team play together in what could be our team for this year. As mentioned before, Kane scored a goal, Larkin scored one, MBN got one, Aljo got the game tying goal, and then Larkin. What a setup there in OT, man, for the game winning goal. But like
Actually,
I said,
I think MBN had 2 goals.
Yeah, MBN had 2, and then
Kane had 2.
yeah, Kane had the winner in overtime.
one,
No,
two.
Larkin.
Oh, yep.
Larkin.
Larkin, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say my math wasn't mathing real quick. So yeah, MBN with 2 goals. I mean, we're constantly preaching to the choir about this, man. But if there's ever a player that looks ready, man, I mean, just his style is so simple with MBN, man. You can't leave him off. I think we were talking about like Finnie. You can't leave him off the roster either. But even in the sense of that, like MBN's right there too, man. I think his style fits the pro level. And I mean, we were watching it in the playoffs for Grand Rapids, and like on a terrible, terrible game or series against the Stars, MBN was one of the only bright spots. And through the prospect games, through training camp, through preseason, that's a lot of hockey to ask for your budding prospect to play. And the fact he just looks so calm, cool, and collective and just fits in with the style of gameplay that he plays, I mean, it just should not be a doubt he should be in this lineup. But like I said, we're going to give some credit to some of our veterans here. Kane still looks like Kane, man. I mean,
Showtime.
You love to see it. He looks like he hasn't lost a step either. And again, with D-Boss, he's I've said it multiple times, but he is the backbone of this team and will continue to be the backbone. So
Captain America.
Mm, but yeah, Gibson, not the best start, but again, I'm not worried at all, man. I really am not. We'll kind of just see how that goes with the season. But I mean, if something happens where Gibson has a couple down games, you can throw Talbot out there. I mean, he's shown he can be a starter in the league. He didn't look half bad last year either. You have that good complement in the backup position. You don't have to rely on throwing a guy like Lyon or Husso in hopes that they'll have a good game. Like Talbot, you're pretty much certain that he can have those halfway decent games. So overall, what were your guys' thoughts on the last game of the preseason against the Maple Leafs?
Oh man, I mean, obviously you notice MBN with the 2 goals that is really helping his case. And I know Todd said like this game specifically is going to be a physical challenge. It's going to be a challenge and a test for those guys who are still on the roster. All of them stepped up to the plate. MBN especially with the 2 goals. Like first goal, really great feed from Comfort to MBN. That was a really good, quick little tap in, and then his second goal, just the one timer, from the point, just how quick of a release he has. And ASP, man, on the power play, being able to move the puck the way he does. Obviously, I forgot his first assist, but his second assist, obviously on the Ajo goal. Holy crap, this guy can find players that are open, and not to mention he can fire the puck. Like, I know I talked about that his shot's incredible for a defenseman, and he just knows how to move the puck around. And, I mean, same thing in overtime. Like, he looked really good in overtime, too. I mean, obviously the main guys, we got that power play in overtime, too. But I think overall, every guy, whether it was Finnie, whether it was MBN, whether it was Pellicut, they all looked very comfortable all together. And obviously it's great to see, because I don't think we've had as many rookies fighting for a spot like this in a long time. And for these guys to potentially make the lineup, that's incredible as it is. Like, holy. Like,
The last time we had 3 rookies make the roster was 2018, 2019, when it was Rasmussen, Cholowski, and who was the other one? There was someone else.
Provolano or Zadina? Oh no, Zadina took
No, I
a
think
year.
Zadina was, yeah.
Zadina was the 1920 season.
Man, so who was it then?
Ooh.
We're stumped.
Damn.
We're stumped.
It's been that long, damn.
It feels like just yesterday I was watching us draft Philip Zadina, and I heard, "Yeah, I will put a bunch of goals in Montreal's net." That'll be one of the quotes that just haunts me to death the entire time. Okay. Anyone else want to touch up anything about the game against Toronto, or I think we all pretty much addressed it pretty well?
Just quickly, I'll give my flowers to Comfort. I think he's kind of been turning around this preseason. He absolutely threaded the needle on that first goal. I was really impressed by that assist. So I wonder how he'll play in the lineup as well.
Okay, I pulled it up. It was Christopher N.
Oh my god!
Ah,
Holy crap!
What a legend.
Um, I do want to add too. No wait, this might be next topic. Never mind. I'm jumping ahead.
Bro's saving a lot of the stuff for next topic. Okay, so if that's all, I mean, I thank you, Zach, for addressing that, because I feel like not a lot of people have said that a lot, but I've really liked how Confer looked. He's not so much that cardio aspect anymore. So
I was kind of ragging on him at the beginning of preseason. But
I think
I'm just glad he's
we all
getting
was.
his legs in.
we all were. But yeah, he's definitely looked in suit, so props to Confer on that. All right, guys, this is going to be the most exciting topic that I think we'll address in Red Wings news until we hear 3 rookies make the opening night lineup. But guys, the black mustache man is dead. Justin Holl and Erik Gustaffson have been sent on waivers. Is this what heaven feels like? We don't have to watch number 3 skate in the lineup consistently anymore.
It's about damn time. It's about damn time.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Put Vince Carter crying happily gif in front right here. Oh my gosh! I mean, I feel like this was kind of like the sense that we all knew it was maybe going to happen. It was either going to be him or Hamonic. I was hoping to God it'd be Justin Holl. So Holl and Erik Gustafson, and I think we can all say that Gustafson was a little bit of a surprise.
I
don't-
definitely agree with that.
I was
it was-
thinking it would be Hamonic, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it though. I really don't. I mean, Gustafson didn't look like he fit in. I mean, we were saying earlier that maybe he could slide into that spot, and after the World Juniors, we thought he could be something this year, but
The world champs.
yeah, my bad. But yeah, so let's go a little bit in depth about that. So, A, does this mean that ASP has officially made the team? And then B, Dayton and Ryan Hanna, I guess I'll put these two in the same grouping, addressed it. On technicality, Justin Holl and Erik Gustafson have not been sent down to GR. They are still technically on the roster. They will be for the remaining 30 days. But it just allows them to be sent down if they clear. Dayton believes that, I mean, they will clear, obviously.
I mean, honestly, Gustaffson, I could maybe see.
Yeah, just like someone just needing like that bottom pairing defenseman. But
Seattle.
I mean, hey, if he's gone, that's another body that we don't have to carry on the lineup. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I think maybe Justin Holl if you want a right-hander on the blue line. I'm not sure.
I don't think anyone's taking the chance on that, Zach.
Just
But yeah,
throwing it out there.
I mean, so A, what does this mean for ASP, and then B, what does this mean for the roster in general?
Hold on. I want to make sure nobody steals this one from me.
Go right ahead.
So I wonder if all of them are going to make it, and the Wings are hoping that those guys do clear, and if those guys, struggle in that amount of time that they have before those players require waivers again or whatever, which I think he's, like Brian said, it's 30 days or whatever. And so if those guys struggle, they can just send those guys down, and then just call Gustafson or Holl back up. And yeah, so because there's no 9-game trial either, because these guys are going to burn a year of their contract anyway.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Finnie. I think Finnie, Danielson, or yeah, it's Finnie, ASP, Danielson, or MBN, and no matter if they play the year in the NHL or the AHL, they're going to burn a year of their contract this year.
I did not know that. Well, I guess then that really makes it even tougher on the Wings, because that you don't get that sense in, oh yeah, they can just play these 9 games, we'll just send them down to GR. I mean, maybe with MBN you can do that, but I feel like MBN has been the clearest best player on this team, so I don't really think there's any sense that you need to send him down. But even ASP, who may need to refine his game a little more, then you have to send down to GR. But
I mean, this is just me. I have a hard time. I have a hard time feeling that they'd pull up Holl again. I think he just doesn't fit the system. I think who he was brought in for was Lawn's system, and he doesn't fit that Todd McClellan type style hockey. Maybe Gustafson, maybe if Pelika doesn't refine his game and he is up, they can send him down, and obviously they just bring up Gustaffson, or they just keep Hamonic in, because obviously Hamonic hasn't been sent down via waivers or to the AHL, but I think
Which
this all.
I would like to mention that Hamonic, like, he wasn't bad. Like he wasn't noticeable, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, he didn't look bad. He didn't look bad in the preseason. That is how. But
The guy who's having high hopes for high hopes for someone saying he's not that bad one preseason game in.
But I have a hard time. Like I said, I have a hard time believing that they'd bring those guys up, especially if they know that how these guys perform in the preseason. I think you got to take the risk. If you're Detroit, you're in a situation where you need the young guys to come up and you want them, and a lot of them look ready right now. So why not? Like, why not take that risk? Because it's playoff or bust. And
well, if we're quoting other podcasts, then while I was working, I was listening to the Locked On Red Wings, and they were saying, what is usually the common trend of these teams, like certain teams, like stepping up and breaking out? And they said it's usually your young guys that make the roster, and they usually help push the team over the edge, and like especially if they do good enough and stuff like that. So
I can agree with that. I do want to say too is if MBN is making this lineup and Emmett Finnie is making this lineup too, Berggren's position in this lineup has to be questioned at some point, and maybe
looking forward.
Yeah, and I think maybe they switch out Berggren and MBN once in a while, just so like he's getting comfortable with the game, but he's also learning in a way, and like getting his reps through training in the NHL and whatnot, kind of like what Leo Carlson did, like where he'd like play a couple games and then he wouldn't play a game, he would play a game, wouldn't play a game,
Like game managing.
game managing. So maybe that's what they'll do with MBN and ASP. Maybe they'll game manage a little bit, like maybe ASP sits out a game and Hamonic's playing with JBD or something like that. But it would be weird.
Well,
but,
to be fair, Hamonic and JBD have played together, so I mean the chemistry isn't too far off there.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just think having two righties
Oh yeah.
same pair.
But I will say,
I mean, we threw two lefts on the same pair at one point, and if anything, I think right-handed D are more sought after than right or lefty. So
100%.
You never know.
But I do want to say too, like I said, like maybe Berggren's position in this lineup is a little questioned, and he's still maybe they look for a trade partner. Maybe they try and give him that change of scenery. He's only on a 1-year deal too. So, and then just to kind of round it off is looking at this defense core. If it is projected lineup, if we did keep Sandin Pelika on this roster, and obviously Gus and Holl aren't on this roster, is Sherratt, Seider, Edvinson, Ajo, Sandin Pelika, JBD. That's a not half bad D-core. And Hamonic as an extra, kind of like it.
It's funny because in the sense that people constantly say that our defense is bad, but as soon as you put ASP in the mix and an offensive defenseman, people are like, oh yeah, our defense is so much better, even though the primary position of defense is to play defense.
Well, it's because you don't see Justin Holl or I don't think Gustafson was awful, but you don't see Justin Holl's name, or for the most part. Again, I don't think Hamonic was that bad, but you don't see Justin Holl or Hamonic's name in there anymore if you have ASP up.
If both of them don't clear waivers, what's Jeff Petrie up to nowadays?
In Florida,
He's carrying
trying to win a
Florida's
cup.
blue line.
Yeah.
Zach, is there anything you want to touch up on?
No way.
Yeah, just quickly, I just gotta say it's, I have a feeling of optimism once again, like with these young guys coming up. I have this similar feeling when Seider and Raymond came up, and obviously they had a hell of a rookie year, as she gave up another home run. Oh well, but
To Polanco again.
anyways, back to the Wings. Once again, I like the youth movement. We're finally getting all these guys coming up, and everyone's been saying, when is the Yzerman plan gonna kick in, and I feel like it is right now with 7th rounder Emmett Finnie, who I thought had really good chemistry in the top 6. Brantag Nygaard, once again, he's the the guy who was rough around the edges with the amazing shot, and Axel Sandin Pellikka, who's that draft steal that that a lot of people thought of, and I am a little bit worried on how, because I feel like this team or these rookies are gonna be carrying a lot of a lot of workload. I think especially Pelika maybe on the blue line, but I mean it's not the end of the world if we send them down. Get them a couple of games in the AHL, maybe refine their skill.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested in how these guys will fare in the beginning of the season, because we're kind of going through a little bit of a gauntlet, as we got like Montreal, Toronto twice, then Florida, Tampa, and also Edmonton. But I mean, I have a lot of optimism for the beginning of the season, and hopefully we get a good start, and you'll see where we can go from there.
Yeah.
God, I'm over here getting gray hairs right now. I mean, I shouldn't be, because I mean they have a 2-0 lead, but man, that was kind of deflating to watch, man. Fucking Jorge Polanco.
You had this isn't anything, but you had to take one in Seattle. So I mean, odds are, I mean, it's not over.
Yeah.
You weren't gonna
I think game one was really important.
Mm.
Either way.
And even if it goes to game 5, it's gonna go again.
Yeah. Kind of getting back to that, I think Keegan kind of jumped to it a little bit, so we'll talk about that. Red Wings trimmed down the roster to 23. In all seriousness, I think they will get sent down. So that leaves you with 23 players on the roster. Now, do you still take Bergeron out? Like, is it that time where you kind of analyze your roster and say, you gave Bergeron the chances. He's not a player that should be on your depth line. He's a player that I guess, how am I going to put this? He's a player that on a rebuilding team, he needs to be up in the top 6 where he can thrive, and that's just not a thing that the Red Wings can do. You put him on a team like the Blackhawks, he could have a thriving role there. But Dayton knows especially how much I love Bergeron. But I don't think he's it anymore, man. I think he's had many chances to prove himself, and we were giving him one too many chances, and he's turning into that, stopgap kind of player that I kind of feel like you need to move on. But then there's that also on the other hand, where you might need to take MBN or Finnie out once in a while just to watch the game from the press box, kind of, rest up for their next game and not have to overstimulate themselves in the sense that, if I had one bad game, I have to immediately turn it back around or else I'm screwed for the rest of the season. Like, kind of having them to get that chance to lay back and just analyze what they did last game or just reset. So just overall, we'll quickly touch up on it, but like, what should we do with our forward core if we have, Finnie, MBN, and just them in the lineup?
Well, I thought it was pretty interesting yesterday what Ken and Mickey said, where Bergeron and like Nick Robertson are very much in the same boat, kind of. Where they obviously have the skill, but they haven't been able to like really translate it or like get a permanent spot, I guess. But those teams also don't want to lose them on waivers or trade them, because what if you let him go and then on that new team he actually thrives what he should be. So they were saying how both those positions are kind of like both the teams are kind of in a weird spot with both those players.
Nothing from anyone else. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so we're going to kind of finish things off here, talking ironically about the Tigers while we're all, stressing the hell out right now, as it's the top of the 7th right now, and we can't get any hits or anything on right now. So last time we talked, the Tigers beat up on the Guardians. They lost game 2. We made it to game 3, and they wound up with one really, really good inning to beat the Guardians 6-3. And now they're currently up 1-0 in the series, which is kind of looking to change as of the way tonight is going against the Mariners. But after that, they'll head to Detroit for the first playoff game, and you have to imagine Comerica is going to be rocking, man. Like, it's going to be a hard place to play in come Tuesday. So overall, just give me your thoughts about just the, the series against the Guardians and how things are going right now with the Mariners.
Man, I just really liked how we beat Cleveland finally in the playoffs.
They've had our number for forever. Like historically, we've never done good against Cleveland at all.
Yeah, and especially this past month. And like I said, if it wasn't for that inning, I don't think we would have won or something.
Nope.
But yeah, I think the bats have come out at clutch times. It's still painful to watch when we have runners on and we just leave them on. But I think I'm giving huge props to the bullpen as well. Will Vest has been locking it down recently. Obviously, Tarek Skubal. I thought Mize and Flaherty had really good outings. I'm just trying to think also on the top of my head. Montero yesterday come up huge for us. I think he got the save.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just great to see, like we're also kind of seeing that Detroit culture everywhere. Like today at the Lions game, they were chanting Tarek Skubal and Go Tigers. It's just awesome to see playoffs in the city of Detroit in any sport. And I really liked the playoffs last year at Comerica Park. It was amazing to see and an awesome atmosphere. And right now, it looks like we might drop this game, but hopefully we can get the 2 wins in Detroit, and that would be awesome. Like nothing like a good deep playoff run to hopefully get more players to come here and solidify that we're that competitive team in the AL.
What's pretty funny, I honestly could see this series going 5 games. We won the first game against Cleveland and then lost the second game. And
Yeah.
So then if it repeats itself, then we're going to win game 3.
Kerry saved our skins last year. Well, I mean, I know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know McKinstry got that clutch hit, but still, yeah.
I mean, you just got to, you got to win at least one of your games at home, and then, if it has to, then go to game 5, and then, they'll do exactly what they did last year. I think last year went to 5 games as well. Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
It did, but I mean, main thing is just getting hits, and obviously your closers too. Like other than Mize and Skubal and I forgot the other guy. Flaherty. Like your closers suck. I
don't know.
I wouldn't really say Vest sucked. He had a stretch towards the end of the season where he didn't look good, but
Yeah.
overall, I don't hate how Vest is. I mean, he's not your Emmanuel Clase or your I name any very good closing pitcher, but he's not one of those players. And there we go, we got a hit. But he does the job well, I will say. Him and Finnegan definitely complement each other.
well,
The only one that I would agree with you on, Keegan, was Rafael Montero yesterday.
yeah, that's who. Like yesterday was fucking atrocious. Like that's the main guy that was just atrocious yesterday. I'm like, dude, you can't be walking all these guys.
But,
I still like where Rafael Montero is, and that's not a knock on anything. It's just he was not going up against like the best lineup you could put him in. Like that's just not a spot where you put a reliever like him in that top of that lineup. But I mean, relief pitchers will have that kind of game. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of have to roll with the punches on that. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna point fingers and say that you have to pick one pitcher who didn't play his part, then yeah, Rafael Montero was that guy.
Just quickly on our hitters too, I like the way how we're working the count as well. I mean, I've always thought this team was really good at like walking and just run up the pitches. We kind of did that today with Castillo, I think, because he was at like 50 pitches in 2 innings.
Yeah.
So I think we're still continue to do that, but I just wish we kind of swung our bat a little bit faster because. I mean, we're finally making contact. It's just that we just need to get that turned into hits.
Yeah, speaking of hitting into contact, how about Parker Meadows? 2 throws right down the middle, and he leaves the bat on his shoulders. What are we doing? Like, genuinely, I don't like Parker Meadows whatsoever.
Well, that's a hot take.
I don't like the style that he plays.
Oh, is he outfield?
Well, the outfield play is very nice, I will say, but when you need...
I don't think you can judge his hitting this year.
Yeah, because he came back in June.
Yeah,
I'm
he was pretty injured. He's injured for like most of the year.
That sucked. because I really liked them in last year's playoffs too, especially against Houston.
That was not the way to end off the inning there. Crap, we got 2 more innings. All right, but I said this before, and I'll die on this hill. I don't care what happens with this series. Just the fact that we beat the Guardians, I'm completely happy. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm stressing right now with this game, but I was stressing a whole hell of a lot more with the Guardians. So just the fact that we're here right now in a close game with the Mariners, props to them, man. Like, that pitching staff, even without Brian Wu right now, one of the best rotations in bullpens in the MLB. And like when their hitters, and when their hitters get going, they're a very powerful force.
They got some power hitters up there.
Mm-hmm. Like
Naylor,
every time Cal
Suarez.
Raleigh steps up to the plate, I get a little scared. But I mean, just you kind of hope for anything to happen here. But even if nothing comes to fruition from the series, you're still overall really happy with how the Tigers got here.
Mm-hmm. And I'm really hoping next year we get to see some of our young guys as well. I think McGonigal will definitely show up next year. Maybe Clark as well. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing with this Tigers team. I mean, we're still relatively young. Like, the core is intact right now. Like, this isn't like we're not going to be here again. Like, you still have a number of hitter and defensive players that are down in AAA or AA that are still waiting to come up. And also a name that I think we need to touch up on is Troy Melton, man. He's had those kind of games, but like when he's hot, he is hot, man. And I think he will be a very valuable piece to this rotation coming in soon. And hopefully it's with Scooble involved. That way you can go through, the 5 players that are in the rotations when healthy. And I think a lot of people kind of miss the fact that we don't even have Job right now, who didn't have or Reese Olson. I mean, we still have a dangerous pitching rotation when healthy. It's just right now we're a little bit of bantered and bruised right now. So
I agree with that.
I mean, overall, fellas, just a great week for Red Wings hockey. We get to watch some Tigers playoffs right now. No matter how they do right now, it is upsetting to see that we're not getting the runs right now. But I mean, I'm overall happy just with Detroit sports right now. The Lions won earlier today, so I mean, it's a good week to be a Detroit sports fan. It really is. And I think we take for granted that, our teams are good right now. Like, it could be so much worse, even though our teams don't win. I mean, we're still in a tremendous spot, if you ask me.
We basically spent last decade in the
dumps.
depths of mediocrity.
Mm.
It's just good to see this. It's all coming together now.
Very much agreed.
This episode will be released in like a day or two, but next time.
Any expectations?
Huh? What?
Nothing.
No, what'd you say?
I said, are you setting a timeline and expectations?
I mean, yeah. I want to get this out as early as possible because I don't want another sequence where this gets posted on Thursday or Friday and we're talking about the Tigers being up 1-0 in the series and it's the series.
So the season's over.
Yeah. And, you get everyone flooding the comments saying, "Oh my God, the Tigers are already done. Like, what are we talking about here?" So I'm gonna try and get this out as early as possible so that we don't have that situation. But the next time you will see our next episode, me and Keegan are gonna recap on the home opener game that will go on Thursday. Me and Keegan are so damn excited for this, man.
I'm really hoping the red carpet goes well, where I can get maybe something signed by Kane. That'd be dream scenario.
Should we do another vlog?
I might have to be honest. Gotta get the content.
I got the microphone, so we can do it if you want.
You gotta look.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be there.
Peter's gonna be there. All right. Dude, how about the red carpet though? I mean, me and Keegan are expressing it a lot, but we are going to get our jersey signed by Kane. We need that.
We have to get there pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting there as early as possible.
We are planning on it. But yeah, overall, very good episode today, fellas. I mean, it's a great time to be a Wings fan right now. We have our prospects coming up that are finally reaching the NHL. Red Wings hockey starts in less than 4 days, so it's overall great. We love it. We'll continue to update stuff as the season goes on, update games, everything that's going on. But yeah.
One quick question with the Red Wings: when does the roster get officially finalized?
Yes.
Is that tomorrow?
It should be this week. Yeah.
Is it tomorrow or is it Tuesday?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for that.
If Finnie or if MBN and ASP or any of those guys get sent down, I'll be so pissed. Like
I don't.
we riot.
I feel like at least one is guaranteed, right? I feel like one is
Yeah,
at
definitely.
least
Yeah.
guaranteed, if not all three. Yeah.
I mean,
I think ASP need it.
Mhm.
Same. I mean, honestly, the fact that you put Holl and Gustaffson on waivers is a really good sign.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's Keegan. We're gonna have a fun time watching Red Wings hockey on Thursday.
If
from
all
the
three
season.
are on the roster, it's a peak, dude. It's like 100th season. Not to mention we get to see 3 rookies. Absolute peak. Absolute
Mhm.
peak. We get to see the
We're-
rookie
wearing-
lap.
Wearing the Centennial jerseys, man. Whew. Whew. Oh,
Beauties.
You're gonna have to like record or like go live or something for like the player intros.
I'm gonna be recording stuff, and Dayton, if you need content, whatever, I'm more than happy to float some clips and stuff.
Keegan's gonna be sitting in the where's it called?
Mezzanines.
Yeah, me and Blicky are gonna try and meet him down there. All right, fellas. Well, that'll wrap it up for episode 19. We're getting close to the 20 mark, so props to us for continuing this. I think we all speak for ourselves when we want to continue this. I'm no longer in school and no longer doing hockey, so a lot more free time on my hands after work on a Sunday. So as long as you guys are okay with it, we're going to keep doing this. We're excited to have Thrash back next week. Like I said, we miss him for this week, but props to everything that he's done so far for this podcast, man. I mean, he doesn't have to be on this podcast, but we appreciate him coming
We very
on.
much appreciate it.
So we'll look to see him back. We'll give the recap for the Red Wings' first few games, and then we'll go from there. All right, fellas, with that being said, that'll wrap it up for episode 19. Hope you all have a great rest of your night, and of course, we'll see you in the next one. Above all, let's go Red Wings, fellas.